Hi friends, this is E, the Empty Nester. I thought I'd take you along on my journey of deciding what to buy. Maybe you can help me. I've been considering solar electric, and over the years I've learned different things. I've looked up the difference between um, monocrystalline, polycrystalline, and thin film, and wrote down the pros and cons. Or I found a website that told me that monocrystalline is better in low light, higher output in smaller space, 25-year warranty, efficiency 21.5%. In partial shade, it shuts down the whole system. So if one shade out of one panel, let's say you have 5 panels, if one on the line with 5 goes into the shade, all 5 go down. With polycrystalline, it's less cost to make, so they're a little bit cheaper. They perform slightly lower in heat than the mono, and they're at 13 to 16% efficiency. And then there's thin film, which is only 7 to 13% efficiency. It's less expensive to make, but it's higher in tolerance to heat and shade. If a little bit of shade goes over it, it doesn't take out the whole thing. And then it takes up a lot of space compared to the other two. It's like a 16-foot roll of thin film versus monocrystalline. I saw online is 47 inches by 21.3 inches by 1 1/4 thick. The polycrystalline is 21 inches by 3/4 by 47.5 by 1.5. So it's just a fraction bigger. There's not too much difference in for 100 amp versus 100 amp. And then the thin film, there's not a lot of information on what I've been looking at, but I'll go ahead and show you, you know, the way that I'm looking at shopping. I've been going to eBay, I've been to Amazon, I've been to other websites, watched YouTube videos, and from my experience with the solar heating panel, since November 6th, I've only had maybe 50.5 hours of usable sun on it. So if I were depending on solar electricity, I would probably be sitting in the dark talking to myself right now, you know, because we haven't had enough sun, to heat the house, let alone produce enough electricity. And I'm also doing this for your input. Maybe you can help me decide what to do. I may just try one monocrystalline panel and one polycrystalline panel, and see what works first, before I go choosing more. And I'll take you to what I'm looking at right now. Let's see if I can zoom this in a little. Okay, I was going to pick two 200 watt panels, and I'm looking at $254.99 for this one. That was mono, and then polycrystalline is $249.99 for two 200 watt 12-volt panels. And then I was looking at the Unisolar. This is only $105, and I've seen very few videos on it. And the ones I've seen, even with a little bit of shade, this will produce electricity. Even laying it on your floor in the living room from the light, it'll produce a minor current of electricity. The issue with it is it's what do you call it? Where's the voltage? 30.8 volts. So that means you have to have four batteries, 12-volt batteries, hooked up together to create 48 volts. And you have to look for a 48-volt system or a 48-volt grid tie inverter. So even though this is only $105, the cost of dealing with the higher voltage is extreme. You know, I could get a whole lot more poly or what do you call it, mono or poly panels than I can for buying the rest of it. So I also was looking at, this is the mono one. You go back here to, so you go to their site, and then items for sale. And then I see this, it's like, wow, here's poly for $159.98. This is a bid that you have to bid on. And if you don't read the whole thing, you're not going to read right here. It's 36 volts, 200 watt total. So go on down here to the specifications. This is two brand new 36 volt 100 watt polycrystalline. That means we're back to the four batteries. You have to go up to 48 volts to use these two batteries. So all of your equipment to run it is going to cost more. So I'm not going to place a bid on that, even though I would be tempted. If I didn't read, I would think, ooh, 100 watts, jump on it. But I'm lucky that I've learned enough not to do that. And then one panel is $128.99 versus $254. So it's a little bit more to buy just one. And then you go to the system, which is $152. That gives you the charge controller, a little bit of wire. You're still needing the clip and the inverter, and then the charge controller doesn't have a digital readout to tell you anything, so you're going to need so many other things. This isn't a complete package. You know, down here it says you may be interested in more wire, you know, clips, and then this, and it's like, you really have to figure out if you're just going to buy a panel, or I have to figure out, am I going to just buy a panel, a better charge controller, and the wires separately, that way I can build up onto it in the future, or do I just pick a package like this and play? These connectors here, I don't think are even enough wire to get to the battery. Let's go back and see if there's another package here. Okay, the solar cable is $21 for doesn't say 20 feet. This package actually comes with the wire clips, solar panel, and charge controller, but the charge controller doesn't have a digital display. And this one is $165.89, but that's one panel, not two. But this may be on my list of what to buy. They've got polycrystalline too for 50 watt. enough with that. I'll look and, make my decision later. But I'll get back to talking on choices. I've already got I think a 1500 amp inverter, I think it is, where you change the DC to AC power, and I have to decide on batteries, and that's another issue in itself. Let me just bring this back out. Okay. But I've seen a video where another YouTuber found reconditioned batteries. So I'm going to look at a place about 30 miles from here and see if they resell reconditioned batteries. And batteries are another choice that I don't know what for sure to buy because, sorry, I know amp hours. You want to get the most amp hours, like 35 amp hour battery. You can't actually use it for those 35 hours or you'll kill the whole battery. And why do you pick 6-volt batteries versus 12-volt batteries? Why do you pick lead acid versus AGM, I think it is, where it's sealed? And then I've been looking at lithium batteries. The cost is really a lot more, but there's no maintenance. You can just put them in the house and not worry about them. There's just so many choices of what to choose for the right thing to do that, keeps me from just buy, 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 buy. In the past, I've learned from being an impulse buyer that you buy it and then have to get rid of it and get something better. And I really don't want to, I don't have money to throw away on getting something better. I want to start out on the right track and, little by little build onto it. So I don't really want to buy a charge controller for, that works on 1 or 2 panels when, I want to add to them in the future. Also, I know that my area isn't, with not having a lot of sun in the wintertime, we've got way more wind than sun, so I know that I can't totally depend on solar. I have to add wind, and I have to look at other different ways of creating electricity to be fully self-sufficient. That's why it's, really hard just to live off the grid, even though this house started out with no electricity. We bought the house, and the person before us was using a generator for the power that they used to create electricity in here. But they used it on a house. The existing panel was like 80 amps, and it was the cloth and I forgot what it's called, the little tubes and cloth type of electricity. It was extremely dangerous. There was what was it called? Electric hot water tank, electric stove, electric dryer, and the rest of the electricity running off of 80 amps in this house, and it was a major fire hazard. All the electricity that existed in the house has been ripped out, and we've put in a 200 amp electric service on the outside of the house, and with the big wire and the person to install it from the incoming box to the main box, it was a little over 200 and some dollars. And then all the wiring itself we did, and what do you call it, baseboard electric heat was installed. And because we're on a cinder block high off the ground foundation, there's not enough airflow underneath the house to make baseboard electric radiate and warm up the whole house. So that was some money thrown away. And then we've got the propane fireplace, and that is extremely expensive to run. I've already ran out of propane from before I've even paid the bill. It lasts 18 days at the most. When they put 85 gallons in, they only put 67 gallons in this time. And then I depend on like the Eden Pure and Duraflame. I just bought another unit like that, and then a LifeSmart unit. Those are our primary heat sources at the moment. So they take a lot of electricity. In the wintertime, our highest electric bill was like 400 and some dollars, where in the summertime, it's only maybe 124 to 180, for a couple window air conditioners. So we do use a lot of electricity, and any form of solar that can decrease our bill would be great. So I guess I've rambled on a bit much, but I guess, the answers is I'm still confused what to choose. What's the first purchase? You know, I'll let you go for now. Thanks for watching, and please, input any advice. I really would like to know why you would choose 6-volt batteries over 12-volt batteries, and then sealed versus lead acid. I would prefer sealed, where I could bring them in the house and keep them, out of the elements that's outside. And then, you know, so much for going on. Y'all have a good day, and thanks for watching. Bye.